So here is an update to my previous video. This is another one of these computers from shopgoodwill.com. I got it fully cleaned out. I have it down on the side because I wanted to show. And you can see it still has the borders on it. I haven't installed the drivers for this Quadra 600, so it's an NVIDIA card. It's a 1 gig card. If onboard graphics outperforms this card, I'll take this video card out and probably put it in something else. I'm gonna, at the bottom, I'll kind of add that on the bottom. You know, what, $5 maybe? $5 more for this card because it has a display and a DVI. The board itself has HDMI and VGA out, so it seems like that's a pretty good match. Power supply wasn't really dusty inside. It just had the dust layer on the top. That looked perfectly fine. Obviously newer than this system. This power supply is newer than probably the system originally. And the board looked brand new. There's like no dust on the motherboard whatsoever. So I think either the original owner changed out this motherboard, or Goodwill got it and it didn't work and they eliminated it down to a bad motherboard. Or they could have got it and it could have had a note saying bad motherboard, and they had this one sitting around because this is a ASRock H81 Pro BTC. So they might have had this board laying around, so they just pulled the CPU and the RAM and the video card and the Wi-Fi off that, you know, obviously pull the board out and then use the parts that were left over from this to begin with, besides the hard drive. Use the CPU and the RAM on this new motherboard and then put it all back together and sold it. Or the original owners swapped it out and then ran it. Didn't run it for very long and then sold it, right? And so I have no idea, but just getting the, like, how it cleaned up. Another thing, you know, like the hard drive was mounted in wrong. That's why they had the tape in, so it's able to move back and forth, because there's no real way to screw it in. The holes there weren't for screws. So I flipped this back around and it does work. I'm gonna grab this card again. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but the indicator light comes on. Right here you can see here it's flashing. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's on and flashing, and then Windows had the little thing show up saying, hey, you know, you put a card in here. So that's an 8 gig card, so it's not big. Let's put that back over there. It has a DVD-ROM in there. It does work, but the door sticks. You hear that little stickness it just had? For a second, it just didn't want to open, and see, like that, it made that little noise and then open. So I will put that, same as the video card. You know, if I decide not to put the video card in and I have to put it in the bottom, I also put this. I say, hey, there's a DVD-ROM in there. The door sticks. That's why I didn't put it in. I won't put it in the specs of the computer. And we do have the fan hooked in, and it does have a filter behind it. So you pull the front off, and then the filter's underneath it. And I think you can, yeah, you can pull the front off without pulling the drive out. So you can pull the front off, and there's a filter that's attached right, well, not on the front, but where the fan bracket is. You can clean that off. I did hook the two, you see these? I did hook these two basically hard drive caddy dockers up here, when you want to call them. I don't know if the motherboard supports, you know, what the heck, now can you think, right? I don't know if they support quick swap, so that means you can put the drive in here while the system's on and then pull it out. I don't know if the board supports that. I haven't looked in the BIOS for that. I just, you know, looked in the BIOS for like the startup, no major settings. 200 mil fan on the front, and then it looks like they put the fan on by themselves in the back, because this is a Cooler Master fan. I did remove this, so this is what I was talking about before with the knob. So you can turn your fans up. It does say low and high. Oh, I don't know if it's going to focus enough, but it looks like nothing was soldered on here to begin with. So I took that back out. I had to replace covers that are missing. There's 3. I don't know if I will yet. If I have some that look decent in here, I will. But yeah, that's the gist of it. I'll turn it again so you can see the cable management more. There's no real cable management in between, behind this tray and the case side panel. So I just ran it up here. It does have spots to do zip ties, so I just bundled them together and did the zip ties, trying to make it look a lot better than it did before. If you watch all the video, even right away, you see the cable management was bad. Clean the heatsink up. It was dusty, yeah, but the thermals were fine, so I changed the thermal paste and dusted and cleaned the video card off and the Wi-Fi card off. Everything seems to be functioning. It's been sitting here for a while. I don't know if Windows is going to automatically put the drivers on for the video card or what. I have to manually do them anyways, but it's just been sitting here a little while. I wanted to show you that it's working, and you'll probably partly see in the background that it's been stable this whole time. So yeah, it's good. It's up and running. Side panel needs a little bit more love. I had to buff the side panel out a little bit, clean up more, because this is kind of texturedness to it. But these here are on this case too. But on the other side, these are where this cutout is down here. So it has plenty of airflow. And like I said, you could put a lower end video card in here, have a nice gaming system. Obviously you need a larger hard drive, but I was trying to keep this down to a serious budget. It might get changed. In 2 more days I have another computer coming that has an SSD in it. Well, it's supposed to have an SSD in it and a hard drive in it and RAM in it, right? Because it says you get everything in the picture, and it says they removed the hard drive, but then it says it has a hard drive and an SSD. So I don't know, the listing's kind of weird, but if that stuff's in there, depending on the size, this might get a different drive in it. But I'm gonna call it at that. I just wanted to show the aftermath, how clean it is now, and Windows 10 is activated on it. But yeah, thank you for watching. Not too long of a video.